It's finally time to get to a project that I've let sit for too long. It's finally time to get my personal Christmas Maxi up and running again. And to help me with that, we got some partners. First off, we got Nibby Racing. They sent us a bunch of stuff. They sent us some swag, and most importantly, they sent us this huge 22mm carburetor that I can't wait to see on my bike. We got some motor stands supplied by Moped Factory and RestoCycles, which we'll be doing a giveaway later on in this video. And I've had this 3D printed intake from Worth It LLC sitting around for a really long time that I think I can make work with this carburetor. I've stalled on this project way too long. It's time to get to work. So I actually built the bottom half of this motor forever ago, and all I did was replace the bearings, and I kept the original crankshaft in it. And after running a 70cc kit for a while at a moped rally last year, I realized how limited these stock cranks really truly are. Most importantly, the little brass bushing inside of the crankshaft. This video, I'm actually going to be upgrading this bike quite a bit. I don't really do this much tuning, so I'm pretty excited to dip my toes. And if anybody's curious, I am replacing this crankshaft, and this is the one that I'm replacing it with. I got it from mopeddivision.com. There are two main differences on these crankshafts. One, you can see, has some holes in it, and the other does not. Like I said earlier, it's got that brass bushing and also only one hole for lubrication. The new crankshaft is going to have a needle bearing and have 2 holes for lubrication. I'm also going to be adding brand new bearings to this new crankshaft. The reason my new crankshaft doesn't have holes is this is actually a stuffed crankshaft, which should add a little bit of compression to our motor. Another huge upgrade I've been meaning to do for forever was look at this clutch. I am still running the original springs, and I got some new ones from mopeddivision.com again. I've only ever installed blues, but I plan on going a little heavier this time, so I'm gonna install some yellows. I did make a video forever ago showing you some results with the new blue springs over stock, so at the top right of your screen, you guys can check that out if you want to see a little bit more in-depth on clutch springs. And while we waited for our bearings to heat up, I went ahead and cleaned our cases to prep the install. And there we go, one upgraded stuffed crankshaft all ready to be installed. And all that's left to do is reinstall our clutch bell and that new clutch. Carefully applying our sealant for our cases, and then we're good to go ahead and start installing everything into our case. All right, we got our first helper here, the Moped Factory motor stands. I've been wanting to get some of these for a long time. If you want a little bit more in-depth of a video, check that right-hand corner, top of your screen. This is a product review video that I did, and it went great. They actually have 3 separate ones right now. They have one for the Tomos motor, the Minarelli motor, and then the one that I'm actually using today, which is obviously for the Puch. Like I said in the beginning of this video, we're actually going to be doing a giveaway with these. All you guys have to do to enter is on this video, comment down below which one of these stands that you'd want, whether it's the Tomos, the Minarelli, or the Puch stand. I'll be announcing it on my Instagram story, so make sure that you're following me on Instagram. That way you can reach back out to me when you see that you won. And into a couple of issues here when installing the top end. So I ended up having to make my own gasket because I realized I didn't have any lying around. And unfortunately, I ended up second guessing myself and putting on a little too small of a gasket after I measured my squish. Now this squish is way too large of a gap, but for now I don't have any other gaskets, and we're gonna go ahead and just run this a little too big. And with that, we have a completed motor ready to go. Thanks again, Moped Factory, for supplying us with a motor stand to make working on this motor way easier. So good luck with the giveaway, guys, and don't forget to comment which stand you're looking for down below. And with that, it's time to finally start putting this motor back on my bike, and I could not be more excited. I totally forgot how this electrical goes because I deleted my taillight, but luckily, I think I got it the right way, so we'll have to check in a moment. And like I said earlier, I ended up putting on too small of a gasket, and check this out. It was a little too wide as well, and it seems like I have an air leak, which I'm glad I caught prior to actually trying to start this bike up. Next, I adjusted my timing, and then checked for spark. So if there's any part of the video that's really going to be challenging, it's definitely going to be this. So I got this 21 millimeter intake and a 22 millimeter carb, not to mention that I need a slip-on for my carburetor. So Nibby Racing was actually kind enough to send us this adapter, which was a little too large for our intake. But a real quick stop at my local Home Depot, and I was able to kind of MacGyver something up. I'm curious if a little bit of gas is going to pool up in this little area, but I guess we'll deal with that later. Every Worth It intake comes with this little hardware set, which that gasket is rubber and it really makes a good seal. And for anybody wondering on how these hold up, I actually ran a smaller 3D printed intake by the exact same company for a few years and had no issues with it at all. Speaking of issues though, I have an issue with this lining up. The only way I think I can make this work is by putting some crazy angle on it, which I don't know if that's even going to cause an air leak. Now, I wanted to replace the main jet, and I noticed the level of detail on these carburetors is sick. Really appreciate the craftsmanship, and looking at this main jet, it looks like we have a 98. And with every Nibby carburetor, you get a carburetor main jet kit. Ours spanned from 100 to 92. So for now, I want to put in the 95 instead of the 98, just because our intake is a little bit smaller. I gotta say, this is the nicest carburetor I have ever put on a bike, so I'm super glad that it's going to go on one of my personals, and I get to experience it for the first time myself. And just in case I have any little bit of rubbing, I do want to put this cover over my flywheel, just in case, because I could see that going crazy bad for me. This kind of trial and error stuff is really what made me love mopeds from the start. It's that sense of I was able to figure something out when challenged with a difficulty. Just like, again, now my throttle cable is a little too long and I don't have anything to hold it in place better. So I found a plastic shim that fit, and I just threw that on. Anybody paying attention knows that we missed something. I was running this old techno pipe, but I thought it might be a little too loud, so I wanted to make a big change. I don't even know what this thing's called, so if you do, just drop it in the comments. I had a really tough time fitting this and wasn't able to get that third point of contact bolted down, but for now, we're just pretty much doing a test run. And so with that, we're pretty much ready to go. I do have some parts coming in the mail, like an air filter for the carburetor, but for now, I think that we're ready to take this thing for its first run. Let's see if we're able to get this thing started. Time to put a little bit of fresh gas in and see what she does. Psych, I forgot to put some oil in the motor. that was a great first test run, and I cannot wait to see what this thing does when I have everything buttoned up. I do have some parts in the mail I'm waiting to see, and there's a lot of things that I gotta fix. If you guys saw my Instagram story, you know that exhaust went super loose. So guys, make sure to keep on watching for the next update, and as always, ride safe.